Welcome to One Way Apologetics. Salam Amasi. God bless each and every one of you out there this evening. Now I'm going live a little earlier today, a little unnormal. But today I had to take today off of work because I do have the podcast with Albie at 3:00, and I also have a debate tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Stand for Truth. Stand for Truth. Donnie will be hosting that debate. So I wanted to be able to come on and do a live stream here. And what I was going to do is I want to highlight how wonderful the apologetics has been in Christian apologetics in the last year. And I want to show the impact of the Christian apologetics in the last year. And I think that this is beautiful. And a lot of it's been spurred by our dear brother, God Logic, of course, right? Avery, getting out there and getting able to have these conversations with certain Muslims that maybe other people wouldn't have been able to have at those times, right? The Sheikh Uthman, the Hamza, the trip to the UK, and everything else since then, Central and everything else, right? So there's a few questions that are really devastating the Muslim world out there right now. The one question is, where is the Injil? Or, as we would know on God Logic's channel, what is the Injil? Right? What's the Injil? What's the Injil? What's the Injil? Right? So, so we understand that question alone is causing much controversy when it comes to Muslims. But there's another question that Muslims are now going in their own private rooms and they're having their own private discussions about. And this topic is Jesus a Muslim? Now, you've all seen the topic, is Jesus a Muslim, on Logic's live stream and on many other live streams. And the way that we see things going now, of course, right, is that the first thing they're going to say is, oh, to be a Muslim, you must submit to God. So what do we do at that point? We find out which God. All right, the one that's not but God. Okay, excellent. So we find out where Jesus actually submitted his will to this God, of course. And normally the Muslims would go to the Bible, of course, right? And then our next logical question when they go to the Bible would be, so that would mean that Allah is a father. Since Jesus is praying to the Father and he submits his will to the Father, that means Allah is a father, correct? And they're like, no, whoa. Some will say, no, you can't call Allah Father. And then some will say, oh, wait, yeah, they could back then call Allah Father, but we can't now. He's abrogated the name. He's abrogated the name Father so that you used to be able to call him Father, but you can't call him Father anymore. I was actually talking with a Muslim yesterday named Yunus. He tried to use the argument that Central Dawa tried to use. And the reason why I didn't address it in the cross-examination is because Central didn't understand the argument that he was bringing forward. In Hosea, God says that he's going to remove the name Baal from their mouth because they used to call him that. So he's removing the false deity's name from their mouth because it is never okay to call the true God by a false deity's name. It is never okay. So God said, I'm removing that name from your mouth. But the name was Baal, a false god. So now when Muslims try to say, well, Allah abrogated the name Father because he abrogated the name Baal. Well, the problem with this argument is that Baal is a false god. He was removing them calling him the name of a false god. So if they're saying that Father is the same thing, then they must say that the Father that Jesus prayed to, the Father that Moses was speaking about, is a false god. That's why Allah abrogated the name. So that's the argument that they have to use. So not a lot of Muslims are using that argument, but a Muslim did use it yesterday. So I had to point that out to him, that the logic kind of kicks back in his face right? When they're trying to use that type of argument when God removed the name Baal from their mouth. So if you're using that argument, you have to realize that you're calling the Father a false God, and you're going to get into some trouble at that point in time when you affirm that Jesus can pray to the Father at his time. If you're affirming that Jesus can pray to the Father at his time, then you're affirming that he could pray to a false God at his time. And I don't think as a Muslim you would want to do that. But the Muslim last night did. Now, why would I bring all of this up? Why am I putting forward that these are such wonderful arguments and that we need to be pushing them forward and propagating them more? Well, it's because Muslims are talking about it. But before we actually get into that, I actually want to go ahead and share my screen here. I'm going to go ahead and put the link into the chat here first. And there is the link into the chat. Boom, boom. That is my link tree that has been created by a fellow Christian. And this link tree contains support for One Way Apologetics, my PayPal link. You can join us on Patreon as well, or you can subscribe on YouTube and or follow me on TikTok. After I get a Discord and a Facebook group going, I'll add those as well. But for right now, if you want to follow me on social medias, these are the two that you can. Or if you want to support the ministry, that you can do that through the Patreon and or the PayPal. Either way, it is up to you. But of course, once I get up to around 150 to 200 people on Patreon, I will be able to have a full-time ministry where we'll be able to do this all the time, not just on specific days and evenings. So now getting into the actual topic, why I wanted to have the live stream today. Why is this so important? Why am I bringing up this? Well, it's because Muslims are actually creating lives and they're trying to answer these questions. So when Muslims are actually creating these live streams with their own Muslims and they're going to their sheikhs and they're going to their imams and they're trying to find out these questions, what are they doing? We are creating shubahat. And that's what we need them to do. We want Muslims to look into their religion because Muslims aren't supposed to do that. So when we're questioning them and they're looking into their religion, it's a good thing. Now, why is it a good thing? Now we're going to see why it's such a good thing. So here we have our dear brother. I'm not going to go ahead and mention his name because he'd already done it, but I'm going to stand by my brother Logic. I think this guy should remain nameless anyways. But the Mubahala podcast is an excellent place on YouTube that you're able to find Muslim conversations with one another and how they're dealing with the Christian arguments that are being presented, of course, right? So let's take a listen to some Muslims that got together and let's listen to what they're talking about. And let's understand why they're talking about this in the first place. But before we get into that, we got my man's J49er in the chat starting us off with a big old super chat today. Salam alaikum, my brother. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, more questions. One, how many more Muslims will we see saying they are Quran only? Quitting hadiths. We see dozens every day. You are correct, Jay. A lot of Muslims are starting to throw their hadiths under the bus and they're starting to confess Quran only on stage because they don't want to defend their hadith anymore. And when will ever we see any Muslim with a TikTok or YouTube live and banner saying, be like Muhammad? Why so embarrassed about him? And actually, that's true. Why wouldn't they call people to be more like Muhammad? Why wouldn't they? Like I would have no problem having a background saying be more like Jesus, right? I would love to be more like Jesus. I strive daily to be more like Jesus, and I would call everybody to be as close to Jesus as possible because he's our perfect example, of course, right? So, Chris, can you unmod me and mod me again? I can't see the managing. Oh, just give me 1 second here, y'all. There is an issue on YouTube with Sister Chloe, and we must deal with that one right away. Let me go ahead and mute my YouTube so I don't hear myself speaking. And wait for the chat to actually load because it's taking forever. All right, there you are. So I'm removing you as a managing moderator. And now I'm adding you as a managing moderator. All right. How's that, Chloe? There you go, Chloe. I removed you as a managing moderator, then I added you back as a managing moderator. So I hope that that fixed it. Just let me know if that fixed it. If it did, then I'll just continue with the video that we got up here. I also want to say God bless everyone. Thank y'all for showing up today. It's amazing to see everybody popping in here. Still acting up. Guess it's a YouTube thing. Sorry. Oh, no problem. No problem. Ah, okay. So Christina Marie confirmed that it's even been happening to her on another channel. So right on, right on. All right. What do you do? Chef Logic in the building under the name of King Drake. I know. Anyway, let's get it, because that was funny. Y'all got me when you sent King Drake up with the Logic outfit. I'm just saying. All right. So what are these Muslims talking about? We have Wissam, one of the so-called knowledgeable Muslims. We have Omar, apparently a knowledgeable Muslim, and Eminem. Some of the three, which Muslims would say are knowledgeable. Now, I would disagree, but whatever. You know, the Muslims can have their own opinion. But what are these people actually saying? So let's hear what they're saying about this.
Making your masdar, you're making your masdar the colloquialism. You're saying it's something that is appropriate, that might have been appropriate for Allah because some people were using it. That's like a Trumpian type of. That's a Trumpian type of.
No, I'm not saying just some people.
Some people are saying
prophets. I'm saying if prophets did.
How do you know that?
Look, I don't. Just like you don't know if Jesus called Allah Father too, right?
So دع ما يريبك إلى ما لا يريبك.
Okay. So Wissam, are you certain that Isa didn't call Allah this?
Don't care. Don't care. I know Allah.
I just want to point out, everybody listen to how these Muslims are talking to each other. If me and Avery were to sit down because we had a question about the Bible, right? There's no way that me and Avery would act like this to one another. I'd be like, all right, so brother, this is the way that I see it. And I would put out my case and I'd be like, now, how do you see it, brother? And he'd be like, well, I see your point here. And I do agree with you here, but over here it says this. So if we apply this here, could it mean this instead of that? And I'd be like, okay, I see your point. And we would go along that way, right? We would be cordial with one another, and we would be able to have an honest dialogue and still be able to give each other a hug at the end of the conversation and say, I love you, brother. God bless. Have a good day. So a Christian can have that discussion, still give his brother a hug, say, I love you and have a wonderful day. But you listen to these Muslims. Are they going to be able to hug each other and tell each other to have a good day after this? You tell me.
That's not. I know in the Quran. I am certain.
Because you're arguing with me about certainty. I'm asking you, do you have certainty of this?
I'm saying when it comes.
The word Father meant that? Are you certain that the word Father meant that? That's the real question.
You guys.
That's the question, though, Beyond.
Is
he sure that Father meant that?
We already agreed that it's a possibility, and just leave it there.
What is this about possibilities? I think this is Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What do you mean possibility?
But Wissam, you agreed to possibility. So are you criticizing yourself now?
Look at me being all rookie and having my mic muted and trying to speak. That rookie move, it's not like it's my first review. But listen to what they're arguing about, y'all. Listen to what they're arguing about. Is it okay, or how did Jesus mean, or what did Jesus mean when he said Father, or did he even say it at all? And listen to what they're actually saying here. This is important. This is all because of the question, is Jesus a Muslim? This whole conversation is because, is Jesus a Muslim? Listen to this.
What are you talking about?
You said that it's possible. It's not impossible.
I know.
Right?
I'm saying anything in the is possible, but I will not entertain it because it's Allah Subhanahu wa
Okay, you don't
Taala.
have to entertain it, but to like bash
You
other
shouldn't
people
either.
for holding to it, to bash other people for holding to it, then
Okay, so okay.
shouldn't either.
Again, I just want, because we are in debates so often and we demand consistent. We want to make sure that what we're saying is absolutely, scrutinized and thorough and foolproof. Now, by your criteria, if it has a good meaning, if it's in the general vernacular of people, if it's mentioned consistently or sporadically throughout the Old Testament, Allah is a mother in some sense. Allah is a husband in some sense. Allah is a babysitter in some sense.
What? No way. Did we just hear that Allah was a mother in some sense? Or Allah's a babysitter in some sense, y'all. Allah's a baby. Hey, y'all. Hey, some of you Muslims out there, if your husband hasn't committed the adultery that Allah has fixed for him, don't let him near your babysitter. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Allah is the mama. That's right, Christina Marie. Now, I'm a little old, so I'm gonna date myself. But back when I was actually a teenager, I think, when this show was on. It was about dinosaurs. And they had this little baby dinosaur. And it would say, not the mama. Not the mama. That's what the baby dinosaur would always say. And now, maybe that little baby dinosaur would say, Allah is the mother. Allah is the mother. Allah is the mother. All right, man. Oh, I got Christina Marie. You got me dying laughing over here with that. Oh, you got me. See, you got me going here, sister. Oh, we about to get into this one. Oh, we about to get into this one now. Allah being a mother, a babysitter, and a husband. Woo! Oh, let's get this one.
No, honestly. Wissam, I think I found a reputation. Wait, I think mother cannot be mother cannot be applied, right? Because mother is a feminine. It's an and
father is masculine. Is Allah a man?
No. Hold on.
It's just a strong. It's like arguing because he says he's a man. Like
father's different. Father's different because in Arabic, there's no it. Okay, it's always hiya or huwa. In Arabic,
yes, huwa is because it's a universal pronoun, not because it's masculine. But father is not a universal noun. It is a masculine noun.
Okay, so if Jesus called him that, he's calling God a man? I don't understand what you're saying anymore.
Yes, if he called him that, it's possible that would be blasphemous to that degree, and we don't know if he called him that. So we choose to say that Isa alayhi salam called him Allah.
Yo, Henny, next person that mutes me, wallahi, I'm going to blast their entire lineage. Whichever
Oh my God, Central, shut up. You are a B to C tier apologist sitting amongst ones that are ranked in the S tier and A tier. You need to sit down and shut up and take notes because that's all you good at.
I don't know what you guys,
mic, bro. I don't know what you guys were talking about before that. But
Omar, can I just say one thing? Sorry. I'm listening to your argument. You know I respect you, bro. You know I always get stuff from you. But on this, bro, where I'm stuck with what you're saying is that you're assuming that father means something based on the Bible. That's your basis. You're saying that father means this because the Bible says that. And that's just a wrong premise to start with. Okay, so how do we know that father means creator?
Because the people who use the term, well, I mean the New Testament or the Old Testament, because it's in the Old Testament too.
Either. I don't.
But my point is, if it's a possibility, just leave it at that. I don't hold the position that you can call him this today.
Yeah, but to say that we can affirm the meaning of a word, that means that I can go pray with a Christian and say we're all children of God, but you can mean it in some way different to me.
Yeah. Hold on. Can anybody say that Allah does haraka or is it just in any sense?
I don't know those words. I just know what I'm talking about right now.
Why does the Salaf not deny or affirm of Allah's jism?
My question here is Malik. Malik thinks he's somebody in the Islamic world. As soon as an Arabic word was said, what did Malik say? I don't know about those words. That like speaking gibberish to me. You're gonna speak Arabic to me. This man's supposed to be such a big man. Muslim, everybody's supposed to check in with Malik wherever they go. Oh, you better be scared of Malik. This man don't even know Arabic. They brought out one Arabic word. This man's like, oh, I'm out. Oh, hey. You want to start dropping that Arabic? I'm out. I'm gonna run like the little coward I am. That's what Malik's doing. One Arabic word. That's all.
Jism means body. Jism means body, right? Well, Allah doesn't have a body, right?
No, but body can mean existence. Even philosophers say that a body.
Okay,
can mean
but that's philosophically. This is theological right now.
No, because this is
you're answering your own question. You're saying they did not affirm or deny.
Yeah.
Correct.
So is it a possibility?
Good. Who cares?
Did I affirm it?
It has to be a possibility, Omar.
Did I affirm Allah as the Father in any sense? Or do I hold the position of the Salaf and I say it depends what they mean?
Okay, again, if you're saying that it's just a historical possibility, and I'm concerned about your reasoning for it. If it's a historical possibility and you're just like thinking about it on your own spare time, that's fine. But in terms of actually implementing it as the basis for your arguments, it makes zero sense, and it leads to blasphemy, like Allah is a mother, like Allah is a husband, like any of it. In fact, grandfather. Because grandfather is an ancient form of father. Allah is my grandfather.
So anyone who used just in any sense, I guess, is blaspheming.
If there is no evidence in Quran and Sunnah for calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a jism, you shouldn't use it. And in fact, that's what Imam Ahmed said. Said that there's no, we don't reject or accept.
And he meant by and of course, but there could be a correct meaning, right?
Why are you talking about again? Allah is not subject to your like fanciful theories here.
Do the ulama say that there could be a correct meaning for jism? Yes or no?
Could there be a correct meaning for mother and husband?
Look, I just asked about jism. What's worse, calling him a mother or husband, or calling him a Lego?
So what they're arguing here is there an actual understanding for saying that Allah has a body? That's jism, right? Body, right? Is there an explanation of why Allah has a body? So they're trying to say body equals existence. That's not true. And that's not true philosophically. It would be the nature or the essence or the being of something that would insinuate that they exist, the existence of something. Unless they're saying that the nature is the body, but they're not saying that yet. They're just saying that the body means existence. So right now, they're saying, is there any information out there from any of the Sahaba or the Salaf that would actually say what this body is? How have they explained this body, right? And what does Wissam do? Well, what about father? What about mother? Like, instead of actually saying, I'm not sure, or Ibn Taymiyyah says this, or Imam Malik says this, or Abu Bakr says this, or Ibn Abbas says this, or something like that, right? He's mocking his brother. They're literally mocking each other up here on the stage. All right, let's continue though.
They're all necessarily, you should not say any of them because
so could he be a jism in any sense?
What are you who cares? Why are you asking me this?
I'm just asking you in any sense.
Did you all hear that? I'm gonna back that up. It really sounds like he is mad right now. Listen to how mad Wissam truly is right now at his own brother for simply asking him a question. Listen to this.
Them, because Allah
okay, so could he be a jism in any sense?
What are you? Who cares? Why are you asking me this?
I'm just asking.
Who cares? Why are you asking me this? Who cares? Why are you asking me this? Oh, I died laughing. Oh, I died laughing when I first saw this. This is gold right here. But let's keep going, because when you find a treasure pot, you don't just take the coins and run away, right? Because you're not going to get it all. You just take a little bit and you go back. You get a little bit more and you get a little bit. You don't be greedy. So we ain't going to be greedy. Let's just keep going here. God bless you, Sister Christina Marie. I'm hoping you're having a blessed day today, sister. God bless you. Let's get it.
In any sense, like, could he be called a jism?
That's my problem with your position, is that you're delving
why was
into
the Salaf agnostic? Why was the Salaf agnostic on kufr?
You. What do you mean it was good?
Why was the Salaf agnostic on kufr? They're not sure if they can call Allah a body.
Jism, by the way, is not a body. It's like it can be anything. It's like a johar. It's like a thing. Yes.
A jism is literally, go to Lisan al-Arab, Wissam.
I know what jism is. But when you're talking about like a human flesh and blood body, it just means something that exists, that has a physical reality, something that's outside of your.
Jism is a body.
Yes. That's like when you say a celestial body or something that actually exists. That's what jism means.
No, that's what the philosophers say. Jism means existence for them. So,
okay, so you mean
could have a correct meaning.
Who are they?
Bro. Okay.
So you could say that Allah in some sense is a jism. Okay.
Who says that? I'm not saying any of that. That's you.
Okay, so then was the Salaf agnostic on being kuffar?
If they are agnostic, it's because they don't have. Are you agnostic that Isa alayhi salam called Allah?
What's this term agnostic?
That's not how it goes.
I'm dying laughing over here. We got Malik, the man that is supposed to be the man of Islam. Yeah, y'all better make sure you check in if you coming down to San Diego sometime. You got to check in with Malik. This man doesn't even know the words that they're using. He doesn't know what agnostic means. Really? Really, you don't know what agnostic means. It means you don't know, idiot. Let's get it.
Were they unsure if they could say something? Were they unsure if they could call Allah a body or not?
Yes.
Okay, so is that kufr?
Who says it's kufr?
Is it kufr to call Allah jism?
Now this is important, because it is kufar to understand Allah having a body in the wrong way. So yes, believing in jism, Allah having a body, can be kufar. And this is, I think, where Omar's trying to go to. And he's right here. It literally is. But let's see how it plays out.
In any sense?
Wait, but beyond, in that case, if you're not sure of something, Allah says to stay quiet about it. So if you're talking about it, then you're adding to it.
I don't know if it's kufr or not, but when we're talking about the methodology.
I would say
it is kufr to call Allah jism.
Yeah, if you mean it in the wrong sense, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. So yeah, again, you're attaching these caveats to it. Okay, so
if you mean in the wrong sense,
if it's not like a name, right? If it's not a name that he has, then of course you're not gonna even just like, for example, you're not gonna give this to like a name to Allah, right? But in some sense,
yeah, good.
You would affirm it, no problem.
Why would you affirm it? Why?
In some sense, no, you wouldn't call him that, right? But you would say that he has this.
Okay, calm down. Listen. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you can call him.
What's happening here is Omar saying that when we're talking to Christians and we're trying to provide evidence that Jesus is a Muslim, and we show that Jesus submits his will to God, the Christians are coming to us and saying, well, he's calling God his father. So how do we combat this idea that Allah's not a father, yet Jesus can call God his Father. So this is the idea that they're trying to combat, right? So what Omar is saying is, why can't we affirm that Jesus said, yes, Father in the Bible? Yes, he did say Father, but we cannot say how or why he said it. We can't say that. We can't affirm how or why, but we just affirm that he said it. This is his point. He's saying because with Allah, we just assert that he has a body. We don't explain how or why. So he's saying, why can't we take that same concept when they're talking about Allah in the Quran, right? And why can't they place it upon the Father being used for Jesus? So why can't they just affirm Allah as a Father, but not explain how or why he is a Father? That's what the Muslims aren't getting here. Salam al-Masih, my brother Danny Davis, and I seen, now we got all three of us up here. Now we got all three of us in here right now. So I got to bring up that super chat from my milk brother, Big Brother Scott, because we also got my other milk brother, Danny Davis. And for all you that don't know why me, Danny, and Big Brother Scott call each other my milk brother, it's because we are. We are. So we did the 23andMe suckling test, and we actually found out that we go through suckling all the way back to Warwick bin Nawfal. That's right. We go back to Warwick bin Nawfal. We got pedigree, y'all. Oh, we got pedigree in the original Quran-only Christians. Now, we also go back to the simp, but we don't like mentioning that. We don't like mentioning that we go back to the simp through suckling as well. But I know that Big Brother Scott and Danny might be a little mad at me, but I try to acknowledge all of our family from back then, guys. Not just the one that we like to mention. Not just the one we like to mention. That's all. I'm just saying. But Big Brother Scott, one of my milk brothers, he shouts out to me, my milk brother. Shout out to you, my milk brother. Love you. God bless. And don't tell me we've got the man, the myth, the legend up in the building. We got God Logic himself. We got our man's Avron up in the building. What's up, Avron? How you doing, my brother? I still remember when that guy called you Avron. Oh, I died laughing. Oh, I died laughing when he said that. Another one from Big Brother, from Danny Davis, my milk brother. He says, brother through suckling in the house. That's right. Brothers through suckling representing. All right. So again, getting back to this discussion though, is they're having this in-house, and now if Christians had it, it would be an in-house discussion. This is an in-house brawl. They're literally having a brawl simply because of the question, is Jesus a Muslim? So my sister up here said a really important thing. She said Omar's conscience is debunking Islam. And that's what I wanted to point out today. It's the shubahat that is being spread simply by one question. And we see how Logic does it on his live stream, right? There's a certain way that he goes through, and it doesn't matter if it's the first Muslim or if it's the 30th Muslim at the 8th hour. They literally go through the same script. They will literally come up, and we will always get them to the point where, oh, so Jesus submits his will to the Father. So is Allah a father? We always get them to that point. Always get them there. So this is why they're having this discussion. So let's see. Now, what I was saying is Omar is trying to say that why can't we say in the Bible, we affirm that Jesus called God a father, but we don't know how or why that happened. The same way they say Allah has a body, they just don't know how or why he has a body. So Omar's using that example, and they're just cutting him right up for it. So let's get it.
Him A, B, or C. You call him A, B, or C. Through the Prophet ﷺ, through the Quran, through the Ijma' al-Sahaba, you can call him that. If he doesn't, then you should not. You should not use it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We don't call him that.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying that, look, I'm simply saying it's a possibility. I don't say that we can call him that.
But okay, what is the purpose of saying it's a possibility?
I don't believe that words have like inherent meanings.
This is why you're confused. What is the purpose of saying that?
If they meant something that had a correct meaning during that time, then that's fine.
But why? Why, when you have alternatives, 99 alternatives? What is this? What is this methodology? What is this tafkir?
Do I have basis for it or not?
Do you have basis for it? If you had basis for it, you wouldn't be agnostic.
Can you show me agnostic of whether we can call Allah this? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you have a basis for why you can call Allah that?
I don't call Allah jism either, right?
Okay, but so you just said, if you have, do you have basis for calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Father?
It's not.
Yes, I kind of went over that. This is why I have my brothers in the chat and everything else. God Logic pointed out a very important spot in here. So let me go ahead and just back this up just a few seconds here. I think it was right in around in here.
Like inherent meanings.
What is?
Oh, I was so close. I just needed to go back a hair more. So let's hear what he said here again.
I don't say that we can call him that.
But okay, what is the purpose of saying it's a possibility?
I don't believe that words have like inherent meanings.
I don't believe words have inherent meanings. So basically, what we could say to him, and he believes it would be totally logical, is that basically that's what he's telling us. If words don't have inherent meanings, then we can just simply mumble and it be the same thing. The problem is that words do have meaning. Thank you so much, Logic. I almost passed over that one. I almost done skipped over that. See, and that's why I got my brothers down here as well. God bless you, brother.
I'm just. This is why you're confused. What is the purpose of saying that?
If they meant something that had a correct meaning during that time, then that's fine.
But why? Why, when you have alternative?
If they meant something at that time that had a correct meaning, then it's okay. So who at that time would be able to determine what the right way would be? Wouldn't it be the prophet of the time? That's what I'm assuming. If there was a prophet at the time, I'm assuming he would know. Well, we get that in the Quran, in the Bible. The Bible explains to us why Jesus calls God his Father. Leo Gomez, God bless you. I'm glad you're here. I'm here too. Little Deer's here too. Riley's here too. Thank you for being here. Let's get back into the review.
99 alternatives. What is this? What is this methodology? What is this tafkir?
Do I have basis for it or not?
Do you have basis for it? If you had basis for it, you wouldn't be agnostic.
Can you show me agnostic of whether we can call Allah this? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you have a basis for why you can call Allah that?
I don't call Allah jism either, right?
Okay, but so you just said, if you have, do you have basis for calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Father?
It's not agnosticism on if you cannot call him that, because Allah says in the Quran to not call
you're just like
by names.
You guys are just like going past us. No one's saying that you can call him Father.
Omar, I'm literally with your position, but you can be agnostic if you can call him that. You cannot call him that right now because Allah did not.
Of course
not.
I agree.
I think you messed up your words because
Anis, I'm gonna be honest. This all just goes back to believing in. But this is the problem when you start believing that the Bible's not corrupt as well.
And Malik hates Anas. Malik really does hate Anas. As soon as Anas opens up his mic, Malik's all over him. And like, this kid ain't speaking and I'm not speaking. So he's like, and this is all your fault, Anas. Anas, it's your fault. And why? Because you say the Bible's not corrupted. He goes off on him here. And it kind of switches here a little bit. I want to give a shout out to the Word Nye. This man does amazing live streams over on TikTok. If y'all ain't following that man on TikTok and on YouTube, you better be. And that is the Word and I on TikTok and YouTube. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says they are imploding from within. Thank Muhammad for that, Ummah. That's right. They're imploding from within. And they're imploding from within because of simple questions. Simple questions. That's all.
As much because you start thinking that the words of the Bible have meaning, and you apply those meanings, bro. And this is the problem with people who believe in the Torah.
And the
Weird, eh? Isn't it weird that if you read the Bible and you applied meaning to words, so if words actually had meaning, and now I want y'all to just imagine this, because of course in the Islamic world words don't have meaning. So we just have to imagine that words actually have meaning to them. Okay, so let's just imagine that they do. So if you read the Bible and words apparently have meaning to them, then you'd be in a lot of trouble if you were a Muslim. But it's so nice that words don't have meaning anymore for Muslims, so they don't have to apply meanings to words in the Bible. I see their understanding now. I see this. This is almost as clear as mud, y'all. It is almost as clear as mud right now.
The Torah and the Gospels alive.
I think believing that more of the Torah is preserved is a better position to take.
No, it's not. It's actually a way worse position.
Mafi Torah Aslan. I literally just had.
Okay, now I don't agree with Malik on a bunch of different things, and I could start naming them. But I want you all in the chat to tell me if Malik is right in what he's about to say in this discussion.
I literally just had an interview with one of the foremost scholars of the Old Testament. There's a earlier version of the so-called 5 books of Moses, Isaiah, the Shapira scrolls, which is 40% shorter and only 1, Deuteronomy. Okay,
but when it comes to like this epistemic issue, look, I don't agree with the extreme tahrif position. I think a moderate one is fine, but the ones who say like 90% of it is correct, that's wrong. I'd take a moderate position, and I don't think these are reasons that people. I don't think these are reasons why people should like argue about it.
Omar,
it's not impossible. That
I agree to an extent, but when you say when somebody says قال نبي الله حبكوك, قال نبي الله so and so, and then I ask you what's your evidence, and Ibn Taymiyyah, والله this is haram. This is attributing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that which you have no knowledge.
What? Oh, I gotta back this up. So, Christians, if we're in discussions with Muslims and we ask them a question and they bring up Ibn Taymiyyah, I believe that was the name. I wonder what Wissam says here. Let me go ahead and back that up so I don't get his words misconstrued. I would love to use the words that he actually uses himself. So let's listen to this carefully. What does he think of Al-Tabari?
But when you say when somebody says قال نبي الله حبكوك, قال نبي الله so and so, and then I ask you what's your evidence, and Ibn Taymiyyah?
Sorry, Ibn Taymiyyah, not Al-Tabari, Ibn Taymiyyah.
والله this is haram.
It is haram. Not halal, haram. Ibn Taymiyyah apparently is haram. So if we got Muslims in there and we ask them a question, and I personally believe that in Central Soul, he is crying like a 3-year-old little baby. In his soul, he is bawling his eyes out right now. Because Ibn Taymiyyah is one of the people that he quotes the most. He quotes him the most. And what did Wissam, his master, do? Oh, that's right, the word and I. He done just grabbed Ibn Taymiyyah and he done throwed him under the bus. He done throwed him under the bus. I did. So even Ibn Taymiyyah is not safe from being thrown under the bus. First off, I got to get Danny's out here. The Sheikh of Al-Islam, rest in peace, Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah. And my other milk brother says he threw Sheikh Al-Islam Jr. under the bus. He has a bell coming from the Mujaheen. The Mukmaneens out there, oh, they're going to be after him on this one. Hey, big brother Scott, you need to, and also, Wissam didn't know that I was going to be reviewing this, big brother Scott. So you got to stay calm, because I'm not sure Wissam knows the original Quran only Christians #1 rule, right? I'm sure that Wissam don't know that rule. So we just got to have you just calm down. He didn't know that throwing Muhammad, Allah, or the scholars under the bus was a bad thing. So we just need big brother Scott to calm down a little bit, because he's going to go off on these people shortly. But let's continue here. What's this discussion about?
Is attributing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that which you have no knowledge of.
That's taqleed.
Wait, you can't.
When it comes to certain things,
you can't even say a moderate position. You can't.
Now, listen to what Malik here says here, because I think this is correct.
You can't even say that either. You can't even say I take a moderate position. All you can say is I affirm what agrees with the Quran. That's all we can all say.
Position, right?
No, it's not. It's I affirm what agrees with the Quran. Unless you want to go read the Bible word for word and then do a comparison with the Quran and literally get percentages, you can't say it's moderate, more than, less than. You have to say I agree with what agrees with the Quran. That's all you can say.
Old Testament.
So now the reason why I would agree with that statement of Malik's is to say that I accept 90% of the Torah, or to say that I accept 60% of the Torah, or to say that I accept 40% of the Torah. You would actually have to read through the Torah word by word and affirm these sentences or these verses in the Torah. You would have to affirm them verse by verse. You would have to show which ones are false and which ones aren't, which ones you affirm and which ones you don't. No Muslim can do that. Not one. Malik is right here. No Muslim could do that. So the only position a Muslim can take, which is illogical, but it's the only one they can take, is that whatever agrees with the Quran, they accept. Anything else, they reject. They have to take that position. I agree with Malik on this. I just don't think it's a very intellectual position. But I agree that's the only position they can take. Let's continue.
Yeah, I take Quran, Sunnah, and I take Salaf.
No, yeah, Quran and Sunnah and Salaf, they explain these things, right? So
the reason why I'm not bringing sources, I'm not bringing things up. The only reason why
he saw the Sahaba reading it. He said, "Stay away from that evil."
If you want, like in private.
Yes, we can talk about Ibn Abbas. He saw the Salaf reading it. He saw the Sahaba.
I'm not going to bring it on live. I don't want to give Christian arguments.
Yeah, no. I know we discussed this misattribution to him from Bukhari, and how.
Yeah, Omar, don't be giving any Christians any material on YouTube to be reviewing. We would never take you guys' private conversations, and we would never review them on YouTube. You wouldn't want Christians listening to these conversations. We wouldn't do that, y'all. We wouldn't do that.
It's not
the most authentic thing from any of the Salaf.
I'm not going to name people. Just leave it.
Okay. Yeah, what we have from the Sahaba is that when they're quoting things supposedly from the Torah, it's things outside of the Torah, like Isaiah, or things that are completely different rules about stoning, different 10 commandments. Okay, if you want to talk about strictly what the Sahaba affirmed,
I really want to thank him for saying this, though. They don't even affirm the 10 commandments that are in the Torah. All right, let's continue.
Sahaba affirmed is completely different than what we have of. Nobody ever says 5 books. Nobody ever says Kutub Musa al-Khamsa. They had something completely different. If you want to talk about that, and then Ra'sul Sahaba Ibn Abbas said, "Don't read it." Majority confirmed, but don't read it. Get the hell out of here. He said, "Don't read it. It's been corrupted. It's
he
been
says
changed.
3
It's been
things.
altered.
Yep. Yeah, he says 3 things.
You have something better. You have something what?" And we're saying, "Oh, that's Habakkuk." Yeah, come on, man.
Bro, to the point where people are even saying Daniel sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Wait, Wassam, are you saying we cannot extract any like?
Oh my God, Central! Shut up! You don't even met like Anas and Malik have more credibility, and they're letting them speak more. They're even the Omar and Wassam aren't even acknowledging with the words that you're saying. No Muslim on that panel, Central, is acknowledging anything that you say. You say something like, "Oh, the kids are talking." Like, they're basically looking at you like their son saying, "Shut up, man. We don't even want to hear from you. You go sit at the kids' table while the adults are talking here." So, Central, mute up your mic while the adults are speaking in the room, please. Yeah, he brings up Daniel. He's like, they say Daniel. They quote Daniel. And why did he say that? Because he's the only idiot to try to say that Daniel 7 is about Muhammad. Let's go.
Aqaid from like the Ahlul Kitab.
Aqidah?
Yeah.
Aqidah from Ahlul Kitab?
Yeah, like the books.
You don't even know what they're saying, bro.
Drop him.
No, keep him from the previous scripture.
No,
yes,
drop him, bro. Take a height, bro.
Why does Ibn Qutayba use Matthew to prove Allah is above?
Who is that?
He doesn't need that. We have that in the Quran.
Yeah,
that's in the Quran, though.
I want to show you this as well. So it's not just us Christians that Muslims won't answer questions to. Muslims won't even answer questions to their own Muslim brothers. I'm going to back this up because this is a really good question that Omar asked. And we got no answer for it whatsoever. Let me go ahead and back this up. Let me go ahead and get that question again.
Drop him, bro. Take a height, bro.
Why does Ibn Qutayba use Matthew to prove Allah is above?
Why does one of the scholars use the Gospel of Matthew to prove something about Allah? That's interesting. Because if the Muslim scholar is using Matthew to prove something about Allah, then the Muslim scholar believes what Matthew revealed is from Allah and is able to describe him by using that. That's why Omar's bringing this up. So what is the answer that we get from Wissam? Let's watch.
Who is that? Who is that?
He doesn't need that. We have that in the Quran.
Yeah,
that's in the Quran.
He doesn't need it. But that wasn't the question. The question wasn't, does he need it? The question was, why did he appeal to it? You notice that the Muslims don't even answer the questions that the Muslims ask. I just wanted to point that out, but let's continue.
He's saying whatever agrees with the Quran.
No, he says to extract. No, you don't do that ever. We don't even like use it for Qasas al-Anbiya with any certainty. So you're gonna go
and wrong for saying that Allah is
so they cannot read anything into the Bible and assert, and so therefore, any Muslim that has ever went to the Comforter verses in the Gospel of John, you are condemned right now by this panel. Ahmadiyya himself, Zakir Naik, Shabir Ali, all of the top apologists for the last 35 years that have tried to prove that Muhammad is in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18:18, Y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong. Central Dawa, who's sitting on this panel right now, your brothers just refuted you. You should not be reading Muhammad into the text of Daniel, you numpty.
Yes. Again, bro. Yes. Go off on
heaven.
Wallahi, yes. Wallah al-Azim, yes. If he's saying
wasn't even me, bro. Relax.
Okay,
if you're talking about aqidah, yes. Yes. If you're using kutub that we have no idea. Habibi, listen to me. Stop it.
Everyone's wrong, Wissam, right?
Qasaman billahi, qasaman birabbil Kaaba, qasaman birabbil Kaaba. If there is,
Omar is actually right. I hate to say it because I don't agree with Omar on many things, but Omar's right here. Are all of these men wrong for going to the Bible to try to show Muhammad or truth in it? Are they wrong for doing that? That's the question.
Any scholar ever who says it's talking about aqidah and says, as it is written in Matthew, qasaman birabb al-Kaaba, I will never listen to that person ever again. Never.
Okay, so you'll never listen to.
Whoa. What do we have here? Oh. Any scholar, any Sahaba, any of the Salaf that has ever mentioned that the Gospel of John, the Gospel of Matthew, Luke, any of them, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, any of those Gospels, if any of those people have ever quoted them in history, ever mentioned them in history, we saw him just threw them under the bus. He just done talk feared almost every. Does he know who Ibn Ashaq is? Does he know who Ibn Ishaq or Ibn Hisham is? He just done thrown all of his scholars under the bus. Like, this man's got no shame. No shame at all. I'm gonna say Omar's taking the W so far. Okay, so far in the chat. Who's winning the debate? Omar or Wissam? So let's get a W Wissam if Wissam is winning. Let's get a W Omar in the chat if Omar is winning. So who's winning the debate, y'all? Let's continue. And on the next pause, I'll let you know who the winner was.
Again, so we can throw his
never. If he's talking about aqidah and he's saying that this is supporting because Allah said in the gospel according to Matthew that this is.
He says قال Allah and he says في الإنجيل الصحيح.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Let's just throw.
You
know when people like Logic say you guys throw your scholars under the bus.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
They're right.
Oh, shout out Logic. Shout out my man's Logic in the live. That's right. Y'all can't keep my man's name out your mouth. They cannot keep Logic's name out their mouth. But you're right, Omar. You are right. You are right. So let me go through some of the. So we do believe that Omar won the debate. So the chat is saying that Omar won the debate. Now I am gonna have to go up here because I do agree with some of the comments. So my milk brother Danny Davis, the Hafiz, says they both get L's. They're Muslim. They both get it. I agree with that one. That's a very I can't disagree with that statement. Then we got my brother, the Word Knife. He says W Wissam only for throwing the scholars under the bus. I can't with you guys. Oh, hilarious. And then of course my milk brother, Danny Davis, he agreed with that sentiment by the Word and I. And then of course, let me go back here because through this whole conversation, David Wood wasn't mentioned, Sam Shimon wasn't mentioned, Anthony Rogers wasn't mentioned, Christian Prince wasn't mentioned, Usama Dakdok wasn't mentioned. Dr. Michael Brown wasn't mentioned, right? All of those, James White, all of those high-name Christian apologists, none of them were mentioned. Now, I'm not saying I love them all. I truly do. I truly love them all. But these Muslims didn't mention them. They didn't mention them for a reason. Now, let me go back here, and let's just hear the last 20 seconds of this discussion, and let's see how detrimental this truly is.
Because Allah said in the Gospel according to Matthew that
He says, قال Allah, and he says, في الإنجيل الصحيح.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Let's just throw. You know when people like logic say you guys throw your scholars under the bus.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
They're right.
When people like logic, not David Wood, not Sam Shimon, not Christian Prince, not Anthony Rogers, not James White, not any of that, but logic. When logic in them say, again, I just got to say, they got our man's name up in their mouth 24/7. Logic lives rent-free in their heads. But they're right. And I wanted to show this for a reason. The reason why I wanted to show this is because of the shubahat that is being spread. And the shubahat being spread is real in the Muslim world. Muslims are like Muslim apologists are literally sitting down and they're arguing over this. They're arguing with each other over this. They're almost coming to blows. Oh, like we almost saw that in that discussion. If they were in front of each other, we may have only seen fists and hair flying. That's how they're dealing with each other. Because of why? Why are Muslims dealing with Muslims like this? Why? One question, y'all. Is Jesus a Muslim? That's it. That's all. And again, we've seen it play out on Logic's live stream many different times. And it can be the first Muslim in the first minute, or it can be the 80th Muslim in the third hour. They go through the same script, and they always get to the same point. And it always to the same point where we say to them, so is Allah a father? That point, Allah being a father, is so detrimental to the Islamic world that now they're having these discussions and they're actually throwing their own scholars under the bus now because of it. This is a beautiful thing. And this is only by the power of the Holy Spirit. So as we've said many times, when you're watching the God Logic live streams, when you're watching these Christian apologist live streams, listen to how they're going about their argument. Watch and pay attention how they're delivering their trap, how they're setting it. And then once the trap is set, how they focus in on that alone and don't allow them away. You hold them there. And when you hold them there, they have to find an answer if they don't know. And if they have to find an answer for something they don't know, they start looking into Islam. When they start looking into Islam, they see that we're correct. And when they see we're correct, they leave Islam. And that is the whole reason why we do apologetics, y'all. Is that we plant those seeds and allow God to grow and water those seeds for us. So I just want to give a big shout out to my man, God Logic, Avery. Man, I love you. And I love what the Spirit is doing through you, my brother. Because this is only possible by the power of the Spirit. That Islam is in this type of jeopardy because of one simple question. Is Jesus a Muslim? And that's it. And now that's my live stream for today, y'all. I got to get ready. I got a live stream at 3 o'clock with Albie. I will be going live with him, but I want everybody to go on over right now because there's a live stream right now over on the J and DOC live stream. So y'all get on over to the J and DOC live stream and let's go show some love and support for J and DOC over there, because this is going to be an amazing live stream over on J and DOC. So again, everybody over to the J and DOC live stream. They are live right now. They have been live for 5 minutes. So let's go over and show some love to them. And when you get there, you better hit that like button. You better hit that like button. And with saying that, I'll end the live stream like I normally do. I want to say there is only one God, the true triune God of Scripture. Abortion is murder, and there is only one way to paradise, y'all. That is through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. God bless each and every one of you, and have a wonderful week. And we'll see you later during my debate.